You're watching Wanted with me, Jonathan. Mandya witnessed a peculiar case on the 14th of February. Now the case has been solved. A minor boy sacrificed his genitals for his lover. Who is this boy's lover? Take a look as we give you all the details of this sensational story. Youngsters are extremely impressionable. They need to be guided well by their guardians to ensure that all their energy can be used productively. But unfortunately, in many households across the country, parents do not have the time to care for their children. And sometimes there's not much parents can do but wonder how they could have handled their ward's situation differently. The story from Mandya is very similar. But before we tell you more about this story, let us look at the protagonist of the story and what happened to him. This is the protagonist of today's story. We cannot tell you his name as he is still a minor. But for the purpose of this story, we will call him Raj. Raj is just 17 years old. At the time of filing this report, he was admitted to a hospital in Mandya. And the reason for his hospitalization will simply shock you. This boy has lost his genitals and is currently undergoing treatment at a private hospital in Mandya. The cops were at the police station to find out what had happened after the doctors had called them and reported the case. The cops were also shocked to learn about the incident. The cops came to the situation and wanted to ask the boy some questions. But the boy, for obvious reasons, was in no condition to speak to the cops. It was the boy's father who helped the cops register a case. According to what the boy had told his parents, he had been kidnapped by some men who had cut off his genitals and then thrown him on the streets. So what exactly happened on that fateful day? It was the 14th of February. Raj had left for school like any other day. But on his way to school, he was allegedly waylaid by a group of men in a car. They had forced him inside even after he had tried his best to resist them. The men had driven the boy around for a few kilometers before one of them allegedly pulled out a knife and severed the boy's genitals. The kidnappers then threw the boy on the street and sped away. The boy somehow contacted his parents and explained the situation to them. He had told them what had happened and told them where they could find him. His parents were shocked to hear that the boy's genitals had been severed. They wondered who could have done such a thing and why. But at the same time, the priority was to get the boy to the hospital as soon as possible. And they had done just that and had managed to save the boy. Before we tell you more about this story, let us establish Raj's character and the kind of upbringing he had grown up with. Raj was a rebellious child. Adolescence is usually a time when children rebel, but Raj was truly different. He did not want anything to do with his parents. All he wanted was to be left alone and follow his journey. His parents had tried to explain to Raj that there were other important things in life than whiling away time, but Raj was not going to listen to them. His parents had given up on him and had let him live his life. Little did they know what the child was up to. It was only when his genitals were mutilated that the parents understood that the boy may have strayed down a dangerous path. They tried asking the boy what had happened. As far as he was concerned, he had already told the parents what had happened to him. The cops too had registered a complaint based on his statements. The doctors were working around the clock to ensure that they could make Raj comfortable. As you can expect, the boy was in a hospital for a very long time after the incident took place on Valentine's Day. The boy's parents had tried to get more information from him so that they could crack the case, but the boy had become mum. He had not spoken a word after his treatment. The parents assumed he must have been traumatized by what had happened. They let it be and refrained from putting pressure on him, but they noticed something peculiar There was a man at the hospital who came to visit the boy every day. He waited for the opportunity and entered Raj's ward, and there was no one else. Raj's mood changed as soon as the man entered his room. Raj was happy and spoke well to the man. Parents were confused that Raj was talking to a stranger who was much elder to him. They grew suspicious that the man had some connection to what had just happened to Raj. The parents of the child convinced the doctors to install spy cams inside the room and find out what the two of them were up to when everyone was away. The doctors too wanted to get to the bottom of the case and agreed to the parents' demands. Soon a camera was set up to trap the man, and soon enough the opportunity had presented itself to the man. He had entered Raj's room and closed the doors. He did not know that there were cameras in the room, but the doctors and the parents were watching the live feed from the adjacent room. What they saw rocked them. They saw the man hugging Raj, they saw him kiss Raj, and this was no friendly hug and kiss. This was a sign of long-lost intimacy between the two. Yes, Raj was just 17 years old, but he was getting intimate with a man much older than him. The parents were convinced that this man must be behind the genital mutilation and called the cops immediately and told them what had happened. The cops saw the footage too and were convinced that the man had to be put behind bars. The fact that he was romancing a minor was enough to get him locked up behind bars. But was that the only thing this man had done? The cops had to find out. They established the identity of the man as 28-year-old Sunil Kumar. Sunil was a resident of Mandya too. He was a self-styled priest by profession. He had built a small temple on the outskirts of the district. He practiced witchcraft and was quite feared. He had told the men in the surrounding villages that he possessed great powers and could hurt people without touching them. Most people had stayed away from him and his temple, but that is exactly what this man wanted. He wanted to be isolated so that he could find children and have his way with them. And his victim was Raj. Yes, Raj went out to the fields to play with his friends when he met Sunil. At first, Sunil had convinced Raj that he would give him a lot of money and had lured him into the temple. Then he had scared Raj and told him that there was no leaving the sanctum. Raj was just 11 years old back then. Yes, Sunil had tricked Raj 6 years ago when he was just 11 years old. He had told the boy that it was God's wish that Sunil force himself upon Raj. He had told Raj that he would be sacrificed and cursed to live in doom if he had not complied to his wishes. Raj was too confused to know what was happening and had gone along with the quack story. Soon Sunil had made Raj his sex slave. Yes, we know, you must be cringing listening to this. This is exactly what happened. This man made an 11-year-old child his sex slave. He abused him every single day. Poor Raj suffered without being able to tell anyone. But soon Raj started liking what was being done to him. He met Sunil's demands without argument. Soon Raj started rebelling against his parents and made time to meet Sunil. The two of them were in a serious relationship now, and the cops had found out about it when they had caught the unlikely couple's private moments. They were convinced that Sunil must have been the one to cut off Raj's genitals.
ಶ್ರೀರಂಗಪಟ್ಟಣ ಗ್ರಾಮಾಂತರ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಠಾಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 17 ವರ್ಷದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಾ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಯ ಮರ್ಮಾಂಗವನ್ನು ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 307 ಪ್ರಕರಣ ದಾಖಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆ ಪ್ರಕರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ಫಿರ್ಯಾದಿಯ ಮರು ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶಂಕಿತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಸೀತಾಪುರ ಗ್ರಾಮದವರು, ಪಾಂಡವಪುರ ತಾಲೂಕು, ಅವರ ಸ್ವಇಚ್ಛಾ ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಮೇರೆಗೆ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ದಸ್ತಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
He told the cops that the boy had called him and told him that he was going to cut his private parts as a testament of their love. But the cops were not ready to believe his story, so they went back to the child. They had to be extremely sensitive while handling this case. After all, they could pry at the scars the boy had just dealt with. But this time, Raj came clean about what had happened.
ಸುನಿಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ನೊಂದ ಬಾಲಕ ಏನಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಅವರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇತ್ತು. ಈ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಅವರು ನೊಂದ ಬಾಲಕನಿಗೆ ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ಕನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಆತನ ಮರ್ಮಾಂಗವನ್ನು ಕತ್ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ಕನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರು. ಈ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಕ್ಸೋ ಕಾಯ್ದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅಪರಾಧಿಕ ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ಕಿನ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವರನ್ನು ನಾವು ದಸ್ತಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
He told the cops that he had cut his genitals himself. He had made up the story about him being kidnapped by a group of men.
ಯಾರೋ 4 ಜನ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕಿಡ್ನ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಕೊಡೋ ನೆಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಮಧ್ಯದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ಈ ಥರ ತನ್ನ ಮರ್ಮಾಂಗವನ್ನು ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಳಿಸಿದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿದ್ರು ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಆತ ದೂರನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ. ಆದರೆ ನೊಂದ ಬಾಲಕನ ಇನೋಸೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆರೋಪಿ ಈ ಥರ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ಕು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ತನಿಖಾ ವೇಳೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಬಂದದ್ದರಿಂದ ಆತನ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಕರಣವನ್ನು ದಾಖಲಿಸಿದ್ವಿ.
Sunil had told his minor lover that the two of them could never be together. He had told him that the society they lived in would never accept two of them of the same gender to be in a relationship. He had reportedly told Raj that he would have to sever his genitals if they were going to live together. Sunil had never expected that Raj would sacrifice his genitals the very next day. That is exactly what Raj had done. Sunil had come to the hospital to see what had happened to him, but Raj was being prepped for surgery. On the day that the doctors and the parents set up a spy cam to catch Sunil, the man had come to tell Raj that he appreciated his sacrifice, but little did he know that he was getting trapped.
ಹೌದು, ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಆತ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಬ್ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಬಾಲಕನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬಿಹೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಇಲ್ಲದ ಸಮಯದಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಮುತ್ತು ಕೊಡೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು, ಆತನನ್ನು ತಬ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು, ಈ ಥರದ್ದು ಇದು ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಮತ್ತು ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಕೆಲವು ದಿನಗಳಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಈ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ವಿಚಾರಣೆಗೆ ಒಳಪಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಪ್ರಕರಣ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು.
But now the case is out in the open. Sunil had in fact trapped Raj many years back and had been taking advantage of him for sexual pleasure. He had convinced Raj that he had to sacrifice his genital. Raj had done as his master had pleased and had called his parents. He had told his parents and the cops that someone had kidnapped him so his lover would not get exposed. But the cops had managed to crack the case now. The cops have arrested Sunil under the POCSO Act for engaging in sexual activities with a minor.
ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಲ್ಕೋತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮಗೆ ತಿರುಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಅವನು ದೇವ್ರು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು 4-5 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹುಡುಗರನ್ನು ಇದೇ ಥರ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು, ಬರೀ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಡೈವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳಿದ ಮಾತು ಏನೂ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಅವನ ಮಾತೇನೆ. ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗ 1 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಆ ಥರ ಇದಾಗಿರೋದು. 1 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮೊದಲು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಆಟ ಆಡೋಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದ. ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಮಾಮೂಲಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಹುಡುಗ ಆಟ ಆಡಲಿ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮಗೆ ತಿರುಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಅವನೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ನಮಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳಿದ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ತುಂಬ ಫೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಈ ಲವರ್ಗಳ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಹತ್ರ ತುಂಬ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಅವನ ಪರ ವಹಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಅವ್ರ ಮನೇಲಿ ಮಲ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಹುಷಾರಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಟೈಫಾಯ್ಡ್ ಜ್ವರ ಇದು ಜಾಂಡೀಸ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. ಆವಾಗ ಇವ್ರು ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು, ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಸಾಯಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನೇ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ತೋರಿಸವನೇ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ತುಂಬ ಇದು.
The case has definitely rocked the people of Mandya. This is a cautionary tale for all parents. Keep close vigil on what your wards are up to. Maintain a relationship where they feel comfortable to approach you and tell you everything they have to about their problems. Their lives are precious. So, stay alert. Keep them safe. Ravi Lalipalya for News 9 Mandya.